Warning, 18 plus age restriction. This content is intended for mature audiences only and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Deepstone. For 400 years, this land belonged to the dwarves of House Firebeard. This land was contested by an old orc tribe known as the White Ribs. 100 years ago, a falling star collided into the land, leaving a hole miles deep. The dwarves found new precious metals that the star must have made with its impact. Blue and purple crystals grew from the site with unique properties. Even more interesting was the caverns hidden beneath its vast sediments. But then something changed. A curse. The superstitious dwarves were unable to rest because their dreams were nothing but visions of abominations and nightmares beyond all imagination. Many never woke up. They struggled, holding on to this land as a location, and was contested by the ruthless greenskins. The dwarves grew paranoid, and many fled to better lands. At this point in time, there was a minor joining between two houses, House Both and House Mormont. In this marriage, they purchased the town and the surrounding lands to an all-too-eager House Firebeard. As most people know, House Both usually proved the impossible possible when it comes to lands carrying afflictions. And House Mormont's blue-collar ideals will build things where things can be built. They built the estate directly next to the hole left by the celestial debris, calling it the Fallen Star Tunnel, the ideal location for the first Bothmore estate. The land was bought as a dowry upon arrival, and no expenses were spared. Specialist mages found ways to make the nightmares less fatal, shielding the populace from the worst of it. They hired some of the best workforce to go spelunking and mine the curious minerals. The mining tunnels expanded and stretched in many directions, proving to turn large profits. They rebuilt the abandoned town to greater heights and reshored the tunnels and created the Bothmore Estate Mining Co. In doing so, they welcomed other mining companies to bolster the economy with competition. Truth be told, they mostly welcomed them because they all came with protective services needed to keep the orcs at bay. There was only one condition. The other companies could mine where they wanted, but they couldn't build tunnels touching anything under the estate's property, let alone the Fallen Star Tunnel. Nevertheless, swaths of people came for entrepreneurship. The family of Bothmores thrived for a few generations before strangely disappearing. Then gigantic bones started growing from the earth like teeth. Unnatural creatures started emerging from the tunnels. Some say that they were the physical manifestations of nightmares themselves. This is when House Both and House Mormont felt it was best to put someone there that equally represented their ideals, who could be accepted into both their houses. This person would restore and maintain the property and business. This person was no other than Lady Misayo Moon. She represented many and hails from the Far East. She is skilled with magics as well as diplomacy. Upon arrival, she dealt with the incursion and collapsed the Fallen Star Tunnel to ensure the abominations would never see the light of day again. Lady Misayo Moon prospered for a time. There was a unified front against the White Ribs, and no true desperation amongst other companies. This, of course, did not last as new companies emerged and started battling in the tunnels for resources. There was much bloodshed under the earth, but it was acceptable as long as they held enough people to defend against the Green Wave. Each company protected a different part of the walls, and there was a new law in the town of Deepstone. Their squabbling must stay underground so long as there's no bloodshed on the surface. All the companies agreed that they would support neutral peacekeepers to maintain what is and what was. Eventually, the Bothmore mines got picked clean, and the once marvelous estate went into decline. Calling for desperate measures, Lady Misayo Moon stands on the roof balcony with her living spellbook to make a difficult decision. 2 of the 3 moons illuminate the town of Deepstone. As the lady of the house and company takes a deep breath and exhales in the crisp night air. The Bothmore estate stands as it always has, elegant, regal, and strong. Having many obligations and stress coming to a head, Lady Messiah Moon lights her long, thin pipe. She tokes on her tobacco and looks behind her on the rooftop to a book. Ink. How many weeks do we have before we run out of funds? A moment goes by as the wind gently blows her kimono. Ink? The book on the ground behind her flutters to life, with pages flipping out of it, forming into a life-size origami person who responds in a female voice. We have 2 weeks before this one suggests selling silverware, milady. Messiah Moon nods. She glances at the other mining company buildings. Send word to the coin master we have been inquiring about. I want his resume on my desk tomorrow. She blows smoke over her shoulder, looking at Ink. She tokes her pipe. Our tunnels have finally run dry. She pauses as she looks off into the distance. Ink. I think it is time we open the Fallen Star Tunnel. Welcome to Farfall.
Rise to the challenge with a fist full of dice, and I will not run. Who's that shadow dreaming of far fall? Assholes of tomorrow, or heroes of today.
Hey, adventurers! The world before you was created by yours truly. Shout out to our sponsor, Santori Wines. Santori Wines, made from Santori vines, make for great times. Thank you, John Santori, for making this possible. Anyways, my name is Guido Santori. I will be your DM, host, and evil warlock for today's episode. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative. I made you do it.
That's 6.
Well, guess what? You're the only person playing here, so
I'm going first!
yep. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am PJ Nave, and I will be playing Venger Rendriel, the wizard.
Let's open our arms and fall into the story. You wait in the booth for what feels like hours, but you have barely just sat down. You should be ready for your meeting, but you never really feel ready. The fast road is never the easy road in your experience. You wonder what the conditions of your next contract is. A bead of sweat rolls down your temple. If this place only knew how to serve a whiskey, you would be somewhat relaxed by now. You have already checked off the first part of your information gathering mission. Frixie would be pleased. Lady Moon was very gracious and accommodating to your position. Is this a sign of kindness or weakness? Perhaps it was a sign of confidence. You wonder how she knew so much about you before you met her face to face. Did she have someone tail you? How in the nine hells did she even know you were coming? Your heart stops for a brief moment. What if you were followed here? Your drink arrives. It's fucking warm again. You debate going over to explain proper whiskey serving temperatures until you think better of it, and you chill your glass with an arcane touch. You nervously look around for someone who followed you before your contact arrives. It's too late. He's here. The candle at your table goes out, and you hear his voice whispering into your ear. Did you convince the farmer to seek vengeance? You nod and sip your beverage. Did you convince him that gratification in blood is worth more than his own life? Give another sharp nod and take another sip. You feel a small invisible hand pat you on the shoulder. Excellent. Have you secured a position in the area by seeking out local work? You slide Lady Messiah Moon's card onto the table. The card lifts off the table and disappears with a chuckle. You are looking to get your hands dirty, a mining company. Thought you'd pick a bank.
This is a bank of sorts.
But no, this is no bank. This is a mining company.
Just wait and see.
As you wish. And you see it, you hear some silent chuckles. Okay, my man. You finished another contract. The folder appears on the table. You will feel your power slowly grow over the course of this moon cycle, having met completion under Clause 48B. Here are your new conditions for your next contract. The folder opens, exposing an illustration of a tiefling man and a human man. You are looking for this man. His name is Saizo. He was last seen with your target. He's a former assassin turned hero. Your target is the tiefling, goes by the name Necroth. Necroth Mortis. He's a follower of Jigal and is under contract same as you, except his handler's far out of our pay grade, so treat him with respect. When you have made contact, you must immediately reach me on this communication stone. A small stone appears on the table with some infernal markings scratched in it. Keep a low profile and continue your search. Work, get paid, sleep, fuck, whatever. But this mission is your priority. You feel a small hand next to your ear for a moment as you hear one last whisper. Don't fuck this up or your brother will know how far you have fallen. And just like that, he is gone. The candle lights back up, as though it had never went out. And so, as you're looking through the bar, you notice, like this bar that you came in, it's primarily like tabaxi people walking around and handling things. You see there's this human bar wench, she's serving drinks and stuff.
Sure.
What do you want to do?
Well, Venger's going to think to himself for a moment, kind of just speak to himself, just another contract. Let's just get it done. I think he's going to kind of wearily sit around for a moment, kind of eyeing the people next to him at the tables and booths, trying to figure out and see if he can kind of see if anyone's kind of eyeing him weirdly. Maybe he can try to find, because he thinks someone has been watching him.
Yeah, so what you see, right, is you see that there's a good number of tabaxi. They're mostly talking to each other and stuff. You see there's the bar wench who's serving people drinks. See there's the other bar wench that's behind the bar. You're sitting at the corner table there. Actually, why don't you go ahead and roll I would say, an investigation check.
Sure. 18.
Yeah, at this point you look around the bar, you don't see anyone that really looks like they're paying much attention to you. In fact, it looks like some people might even be kind of annoyed that you're even here, because this seems to be primarily like a tabaxi tavern, You look out your window and you do notice that there is like a city guard out there, You also might notice, like, if you look out the open doorway where people are coming in and out, and this is like 10 o'clock at night. You don't really see too much other than maybe like a random lady probably selling vegetables way too late at night, Yeah, that's about like what you really have noticed.
Okay. I'll order another drink to my table. And then I want to ask a question to whatever person delivers my drink.
Okay. Yeah, she comes over and she slides you another fucking hot whiskey again.
I'm gonna turn to her and I'm just gonna quizzically, flutter out. Is it a culture of this land to deliver whiskey room temperature?
She looks around, is like, well, it's just behind the bar, you know? Are you a chronomancer? Or cryomancer, excuse me.
Maybe you should get one.
And she like rolls her eyes and she saunters back to the bar. You have yet another drink at your table.
He just takes it, sips on it, and looks around wearily and waits for anybody to arrive or for anything to happen. Does anything of note occur while he watches over?
You notice that the wench and the bartender are just kind of like looking at each other, kind of like looking over at you and kind of making like staring daggers at you.
Yeah. Have I been told that someone will be meeting me here, or am I just relaxing?
Oh, well, you already had your meeting here.
I see. Yes, it is. Okay. I guess next step would be to finish my drink, throw a couple silver on the table, and then kind of step forward, rearrange my garments, and kind of stretch after sitting for so long.
All right.
He's just going to turn and he's going to say, I would say thank you for the service, but I haven't had one cold drink all day. And then he's going to just slowly make his way outside.
Okay. Yeah, the wench scoffs. And yeah, there you go. So you're outside. You finally feel like some fresh air and stuff. The communication stone draws your attention for a moment.
I caress it.
Okay. Yeah, as you hold it, the infernal markings glow and you hear a familiar voice. It appears you are being followed. Address this with caution. Could be benign, but who the fuck knows? Either find a place to single out the subject or just run.
He's going to say, sounds good to me. And I'm just going to literally take off and just take off in a sprint.
Okay. So you get about, stop right about there. Do you want to first look around first before you start running? Or are you just going to just start sprinting in a random direction?
Well, he's going to just kind of turn and look to the right where he sees this building. Is this a clear
roll
path?
investigation first.
Crit.
Okay.
Crit 20. Not half bad.
So you look behind you. All you see is you see a young woman carrying vegetables. And then you question to yourself, like, is your tail invisible? Is it the woman? Is it the city guard across the street? And you start thinking about it. But with that crit 20, it is very late to be selling vegetables at night. And it's just kind of very out of place. And you're running, right?
Well, he's going to turn to her, see her, look to the right, see a clear path. And he's just going to turn from a walk into a jog, into a run, into a sprint.
Okay, so as you pick up pace, the young lady continues walking behind you, holding her vegetables. The city guard raises an eyebrow and glances the other way. You get about another 15 feet before the young lady drops her vegetables and breaks into a frightening sprint. Why don't you go ahead and roll athletics or acrobatics, whatever you're most proficient in.
And am I still about here?
Yep.
Okay. I think that's a 1.
Okay. Well,
I didn't want any vegetables.
She used to roll too. Okay, yeah. So
I didn't want any damn vegetables.
another one of these too. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so yeah, she sprints. It is just freakish how fast she moves. It looks unnatural how her face drops to a focused, flat expression that somehow doesn't fit her facial features. She dives through scaffolding expertly as the dress she has on doesn't seem to hinder her movement whatsoever. She seems to be gaining on you.
Uh-oh.
So you're going this way?
Correct.
Okay, you rolled a 1?
Yeah.
So I guess that you get like somewhere over the like marketplace over here.
I didn't move at all.
Yeah, probably somewhere there. She is just vaulting over this, vaulting over that, you know, and she's
She's right on
she's
top of
just
me pretty much.
right on your ass almost, you know. She's like 10 feet away, but at this point, your speed is like you're starting to equal out.
Yeah.
So she feels like you can remain out of her grasp for the moment, right?
May I say something?
Yeah. Shoot.
This is a very aggressive sales pitch.
Okay. Yeah, the the city guard seems to give chase as well, but seems a little bit more out of shape. He's like, halt, wait, no violence, and starts huffing. Fuck me. And then while she's all doing this crazy parkour stuff, this guy, he's just kind of jogging across the street. He gets kind of like to about to what do you call that? Intercept you guys, right? And you guys are probably about here. As soon as she vaults over this thing, right? She gestures at the guard and she does this like crazy like wrist rolling movement and slaps him on the forehead as she's passing him. And the guy just like, his running slows before he just simply falls unconscious onto a bunch of shit and starts snoring. But this guy goes KO right behind that stuff as she's chasing after you. They say, where are you going?
I was
Are you
actually...
gonna go this way so you could potentially seclude, or you're trying to go...
What is this window made out of?
You want to dive... Oh,
What is the window made out of?
that window's got steel bars.
Okay, maybe I won't. Don't do
painted.
that.
Yeah, okay.
Just
yeah.
boom. Some Looney Tunes stuff.
Just turn into Play-Doh on the side.
Just boom. Cheese grater my way through. So if we're here in this exact position, I'm going to attempt to cast Mage Hand, basically have the hand
Drop.
throw this box.
Okay, like try to trip
Just
her
like,
up.
yeah, basically.
Yeah,
just
okay,
like
so-
pick up the box, drop it behind me right
Okay,
in front
so-
of her while I keep running this way.
Why don't you go ahead and roll that athletics or acrobatics.
Sure.
Let's see how fast she is too here. Okay. That. Okay.
Do an acrobatics check. Crit again?
Okay, so
23?
you book it around this side of the you're going this way, right?
Yeah.
Where are you headed?
I was gonna try and actually go up the stairs.
You're trying to climb up here to where there's people trying to guard this building.
Oh, well, maybe not.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go over here and try to round the corner around this wagon thing.
So you so you're trying, so you run all the way over here. You've actually gained some distance on her, and now she's about this far away. But you know she's following you, so she knows where you are.
Yeah.
At this point, unless you really kind of go down some way and really kind of loop around something else.
Yeah.
And this guy is probably gonna be continuing his patrol this way.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, so as you pass these two guys, you know, who are talking in the middle of the night, you know, they see you running from this chick. Looks like some like vegetable like saleswoman. Like, who do you think he cheated on? Like, what do you think happened here? Yeah, as you're looping around the corner.
They look at me.
Yeah, they're like, she's
peculiarly.
gonna whoop his ass, isn't she?
That's
Yeah.
right. So I'm looking at these two buildings. Is there any information, any signage, anything
These
I can
are
gather?
this is Bothmore estate stuff. Like at this point, but it's all boarded up. It's closed for the night because it's like 10 o'clock. I don't know if you want to risk jumping your. Well, it's up to you what you want to do.
Jumping in the building I just joined. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, like your employer might think you're trying to like break in, and then like, why am I hiring this guy?
Yeah, that's true. We got to make a good first impression. Can she see past this kind of wagon, or is this...
No.
Okay, because I was considering actually crouching right here.
Okay, so
and
I'm trying to
attempting
see.
to surprise her,
Okay.
like a tackle, you know, just like
Okay.
a "Wah!" As she
Okay,
thinks I'm
so
still running,
let's see.
probably to this building.
At this point, these two guys, they're watching her come, and they're like, whoa, like, you're gonna get him. And it's like, oh, you have no idea. She says, she
Oh my God.
passes, right, you know? And then she comes right up over here, and then I'm gonna roll a, see if she can find you with a investigation. Oh, okay, but she gets to use that psi knack, so she gets to add that. Okay, so 8 plus 4. All right. Roll stealth.
Okay.
Oh, and then I forgot, I need to add the modifier.
Stealth.
Here we go. Modifier for, plus 6. Okay, so this is actually way higher than I thought. Okay, go ahead.
11.
So first she...
It wasn't like as soon as she rounds the corner, it's like a tackle, not like I'm trying
Okay.
to hide it as she goes past me.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll, okay.
Like a grapple or something?
Are you trying to do a grapple, or are you trying to like just hit her?
Hit her.
Okay, why don't you roll an attack? A melee attack.
Looking at 17
Okay.
without my weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, so you come around the corner, she sees you, and she's just about to like get into the right footwork, but you catch her right before her footwork is steady, and she takes it with a oof. But it's kind of unnerving though, because when you hit her, right, she actually slides backwards on her feet, like you know?
Yeah.
And then she stands upright again, and then she just kind of like looks around, you know? Why don't you go ahead and just flip a coin for damage? And then add your strength modifier. Why not?
Sure. I'm also going to kind of
Why not?
say as I punch her, that's going to be a hit.
Are you actually... So this was a punch, not a shoulder tackle.
No, I know. I was saying the punch, as the punch happens,
Yeah.
I was going to yell, who the hell are you? What do you want with me?
Okay.
I don't know you.
So what she does is she looks at you and her eyes narrow and you hear a voice in your head. And she says, "What a squirrely little mouse. Charmed, I'm sure. I only need you to answer my questions and you are free to go." She looks back on the other side of the wagon. She's like, "Lover's quarrel," you know? And then she goes, and then she looks back over to you, you know? And she has like, you hear the voice in your head. It's like, it has a totally different accent and it's like a male voice in your head.
Weird. Okay. I'm going to like, I'm assuming we're both kind of standing still, kind of like tension between us. I'm just going to say, well, all you had to do was ask. What can I do for you?
This time, instead of an echoing voice in your head, your pursuer speaks plainly. "Are you a double agent for one of the other companies, Grimburg, perhaps?" She pretty much, like, as she does this and she gets behind this wagon, you see her clothes start to shift and change and stuff and like shimmer away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, her face starts to shift and change, and you see her face looks exactly like the guard who passed out over there, you know. And she, and then it's a he. She says, "Open your mind, let me see." She looks at you, trying to judge whether you've kind of more or less surrendered.
I don't let anybody read my mind on the first encounter. You got to get to know me a little more if you want to read my mind.
Roll initiative real quick.
Okay.
I want to see how fast you are.
We're looking at a 14.
Okay, well, she rolled a 16 and plus shit. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so with you standing there, she's going to make this lightning fast reflexing. And I want you to go ahead and also roll a dexterity save.
Sure.
Then I'm going to roll. Okay, and then roll the d8 on top of that because she's awesome at that. Or he's awesome at that. Okay.
9.
Okay, 12. What she does is she reaches over there, and then all of a sudden, like out of like nowhere, you feel like there's like this sort of presence where you're locking eyes with the guard, right? And you see all of a sudden there's like this purple halo that sort of like flutters into existence and crackles to life above this person's head, and reaches over, kind of like, you know, when a magician pulls a coin out from behind your ear.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you know, you see your consciousness is suddenly pulled into a dreamlike state.
Oh, nice.
And you begin reliving the past hour, and visuals pass, and the taste of whiskey finds its way back into your mouth. A small
warm.
invisible hand that pads your shoulder is recounted. And then you blink, and you realize you're just staring at the wagon. And you look to your interrogator, and you see a wisp of glowing ribbon floating from your head into his hand. And then he quickly spools it away into his pocket.
How uncouth. You could have just asked me.
Well, if I were to just ask you, then I would not have what I have here, because this is a lot more concrete than just asking someone. Regardless, you pass the test, friend. You're not working for any of the other mining companies. Lady Messiah Moon will be happy to hear the report. Working for little invisible creatures, strange, but at least it isn't one of the other companies.
You are a peculiar HR department.
You will start work tomorrow. Working for this creature cannot interfere with Bothmore Mining Co., yes?
My first day tomorrow? Sounds excellent to me.
He nods. Meet us at the Bothmore Lounge at noon. Do not be late. I do not want to go looking for you again. Trust me, I will find you, little mouse.
And I pointed that building right there, the big one, the big one. And I just go, tomorrow? That building? Right there?
And like by this point, the person just raises his eyebrows and just like starts walking away.
No one understands that I'm new to town.
And then instead of going towards these guys, right, The guard comes over to this other guard and says, I'm here to relieve your shift. And this guard leaves. What are you going to do?
Do I already have an inn, or do I need to hunt around?
You already have a room already paid for you since you came to town. It's
is that a building?
Blue roof.
Blue roof.
Right in front of you. Yep.
The fancy blue roof.
Are you going to make your way over there?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round the corner around the wagon, and I'm going to say, I'm very sorry. These are two men?
Yeah.
I'm very sorry for this gentleman. I'm sure you understand.
They all look at each other and they chuckle. Oh, yeah.
Well, I bid you good night. And then I'm going to make my way over to the Blue Roof Inn.
Okay. So you make your way over, right? You're passing through some stuff. You pass by the sleeping guard that's actually unconscious over there.
Yeah.
Right?
He's just taking a nap.
He's just snoring like up a fucking storm, right? And you finally make your way all the way out to your room. And let's go ahead and set you up.
I head up to my room.
Okay. And so, now that you are here, is there anything you want to do in your room? Do you want to go through your books? Do you want to open some breeze to help you sleep?
I'm going to twiddle my communication stone. I'm going to just gently rub it like a little lamp, wait for the genie, and then I'm going to say, so in regards to my contract, do we have any background information about this Nekroth, and do we know if he's in town? Or
Okay, before you even start to really kind of get into that, you hear like, what happened? Did he kill it?
We just had a pleasant discussion.
I see. Are we compromised?
Not in the slightest.
It's like, well, it seems there are no immediate consequences. Be cautious and lay low. Do what I asked of you. I will be watching, and that thing is probably watching too. You were asking.
Who is this Nekroth Mortison? Is he in town? Is this individual someone I could easily find? If there was someone I could easily find, I guess he wouldn't be asking me.
You are on an information gathering mission. You are here to try and find your target. Your target was last seen with the person who you're really trying to get into contact with, which is Nekroth Mortis. He has been around for a long time, and I can't disclose too much information as of yet until it's relevant. Do you have something specific you want to know?
What connection does he have to the Bothmore Mining Company?
He has no connection to the Bothmore Mining Company, as far as my knowledge goes.
How strange. Do you know why you sent me to this town specifically to find him? This is his last known location.
Oh, I know why I sent you here to find him. But, I mean, that's not on need-to-know basis. I just need to find him.
Why am I not surprised? Well, I will do with as I can. I'll be back. I'll let you know when I have any information worth talking about.
Good boy. You could almost like feel that like mental connection sever as he drops his communication stone to go do whatever the hell he's doing. And like you kind of reflect on your past experiences with this creature or whatever it is, and it's never really revealed itself, but it always comes to you invisible. It's always kind of come to you in these like weird times. Always seems to know where to find you. And you felt wind upon arrival sometimes when this character arrives. And when this character arrives, you know that this is Frixie, and this is Frixie that you've known for years.
Yeah.
It just kind of dawns on you that you don't even really know exactly what Frixie is.
Yeah.
Thoughts for a late night.
That's right. I'm just going to study some of my wizardry books, read over my spells, continue to, keep consistent with my arcane efforts, and then try to get some rest in preparation for tomorrow.
Did you do anything with your room? Or were you like trying to like barricade doors or anything like that? No? Okay. So when you wake up in the morning, it's kind of like groggy because you have been drinking the previous night and you worked out, and you know that the combination of working out after drinking is always like...
Never fun.
Yeah. Your stomach's all in a fucking tussle, but you're okay, and you get up and...
Splash some water in my face, yeah.
Yeah, and you feel something touch the back of your neck when you're on your pillow and stuff. And when you roll over and you touch that thing, you pick it up and it's a note. And then you're kind of alarmed, like, how the fuck did a note get here? And you look and you see that the windows like open.
The kind of curtains just flapping. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. I'm just going to kind of sigh and just say, could have woken me up. And then I'm just going to open the note.
It says, noon, don't be late.
I'm so surprised. I'm just going to crumple up the note, throw it behind me.
Okay.
Not my room.
Okay.
What time is it? Do I know roughly?
9, 10. How late do you typically sleep in when you sleep in?
I'd be sleeping in probably 10:30, 11.
Yeah, 10:30, 11. All right, so something like that. Let's go ahead and get some guys out in the village place. We have this groggy ass guard waking up too.
Okay.
Do we want to do smoke break? So I actually started playing what is it? Warhammer Underworlds right now, or Underspire? What the fuck is that thing called? It's like you have like a little kill team that's like collect
Oh, the
objectives.
kill team. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I played the
know-
actual game of that too. It was really
Oh
fun.
yeah, no, it's really good. It's super addicting. I'm like
I'm
playing
about
some
to start-
Skaven right now. It's so fun.
Dude, Skaven is the best.
I
I'm about
love
to start
Skaven for
playing
everything.
Elden Ring. I'm so
yeah?
hyped. That looks so
A lot of
Yeah.
people are hyped
good.
on that.
Oh yeah. What are you playing?
I'm not playing shit.
Yeah,
Playing life, the game.
you know what?
Nothing really. I haven't really. I don't know. Video games maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah,
That's what we were referring to.
yeah. I mean, I'm playing
Sort
like
of
digital
yeah.
versions of board games, honestly, right now.
Yeah, I recently just played Limbo and Inside. They're both made by was it Play Dead Games?
Oh, cool.
They're really good. They have no background music, but it's
wow.
all like eerie, like
Oh, that's cool. Eerie
sounds
silence.
in the
That's
background
cool.
and stuff.
How about you, Ewan?
Me and Ewan have a Monopoly on Steam, and we occasionally play Monopoly.
Yeah.
What are you playing,
Monopoly
Ewan?
on Steam.
Right now,
Turn the camera to yourself, Blair Witch style.
turn the camera to myself, huh?
Get that like snotty drip coming out of your nose. So, what do you think about what's going on right now with Ukraine and all that crazy shit happening?
I could go on and on and on and on and on. I work for the United
Oh, you
Nations
have.
Association, so I could.
Some people are freaked out by it. I've heard talk like in the bars and stuff. People are like, "Oh, like you ready to be drafted? It's World War III."
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
I don't think that's going to be the case. No.
Well, apparently
But,
Ukraine's
I
trying
mean-
to join the EU too, which is a kind of wow. That's crazy. If that happens, it's definitely getting a bigger conflict.
Yeah, but I mean, like right now, like with Putin running out of ammo and gas, and overextending pretty quick, it's kind of like, okay, so back when I was wrestling, I'd always wrestle against people who were larger weight classes than me. I let them expend all their energy, trying to flip me over, doing that kind of shit, right? And my goal was just to try to, just let them waste all their strength and shit. And then at the end, when they're like fucking tired, like maybe I could do something, I'm not saying that like Ukraine's gonna like somehow flip this whole event over, but like Russia is the big guy and he is getting tired, like a lot faster than he anticipated. Not to, I don't know if it's gonna fall like next
It's
week
my hope
or
that
something.
Kiev never is taken.
Yeah,
They are holding it
that's my
like
hope
nothing
too,
else.
Putin shipped in old rations that expired in 2015 because he didn't think that they were
God.
going to have to stay longer than a few days.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, some of the forces, the Russian forces in there, like they're on video, and literally there's like recorded text messages between a fallen soldier and his mother.
Yeah.
Literally where the soldiers are saying, we were moved here from Crimea on the basis we were literally only told that we were doing military exercises. They were going to do
this
some
is
training.
So
except,
fucking bad.
ta-da, now you're here fighting for your
Yeah.
life. Kill or be killed. Have fun.
Yeah. No,
horrible.
I mean, they have like, and the thing is that like the Ukrainian people, are there and they're like really putting up a fucking solid like fight, themselves. They're like super outmanned, super outgunned, and,
Goes to Kiev. Yeah.
yeah,
It just
fuck.
goes to show you. I mean, it really just goes to show you how much people are, how far people are willing to go to protect their homes.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure.
we haven't seen something like this in a very long time, which is why it's crazy. Like you're
I
literally,
know,
there's
like-
live streams of people at war. Like that's unheard of. It's like everybody has a phone. Everybody can say what's going on. Whereas World War II, you're not like, oh, I'm here on the beaches in Normandy right now. Check this out. It's like there was not a lot of documentation. like we're in a modern era and there's a war going on. It's insane. Like there's so many different perspectives you can see it from, which is so unique and you know, I'm hoping this is one of the only times this happens so that we can, you know, learn and stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, you know. Like, I mean, I'm happy that there's as much of a struggle as is going on to kind of like dissuade future kind of like ridiculous conflicts like this. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, God, like when was the last time someone was, well, I mean, I guess maybe I'm not really up to date with my like war news of the world, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like how often is it that people are really kind of like, you know, trying to take over countries via military force in that manner? I mean, I know that's
Been a long time.
Well, I mean, there's the Middle East though, that they're always at war, you know, like there's always some shit going on down there. But like, you know, but I mean, it's just kind of crazy hearing it about it happening in Europe, you know? Oh, did any of you guys see Dune?
Oh, that movie was amazing.
I
Dune
fucking loved
was
it
a mind.
so much.
Here's the thing for me that reason I enjoyed it.
God.
I've never read the book. I knew
Really?
like nothing going in, and now I am like totally obsessed
man.
with this new nerd franchise.
Did you see the original movie?
I did not. This was my first venture
man.
into the Dune
Well,
universe.
there's the movie.
Oh, there's a few.
There's
Yeah.
the movie that was made,
Like in the 80s.
the
That's,
yeah,
that's the
80s.
one that I'm talking about.
and then there was the.
so
there was a TV show, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was like a sci-fi show that was
Miniseries.
Yeah,
It was
a
like-
miniseries. It was
Yeah.
really good too.
that
You
was
know, they've been
The old movie is
raccoon
pretty
over
ridiculous
there.
though.
raccoon.
I don't know. I thought it was something moved over there.
Give me a hug.
Where's my coon friend?
Don't get rabies.
Where's my raccoon?
God, dude, they got like hella pounds per square inch with their bite. So
It was in that bush somewhere, I thought.
In the blue.
probably.
Just kidding. The Blair Witch, it's coming.
Okay, so normally during smoke break, we'd also be answering email questions
Al.
right now, but we haven't been posting anything yet, you know. So
We need
I'm
fans
sure,
to answer questions for.
So I'm expecting that we're gonna be probably answering some of your guys' questions, you know. You guys could ask personal stuff about us. You could also ask what you know, whatever you want about the campaign, and I'll see what I can and can't disclose, you know, so I don't, you know, let spoilers hit my players and whatnot. Yeah, and this is kind of what it's gonna be like. PJ, where are you going? Think you get some food? What you doing?
I am gonna step.
You have a little bit of time before you have to meet.
I'm gonna step down right outside. Turn
Okay.
to my right. I'm gonna see the cryomancer. Right here.
Yep. Role play.
Yes. Role play. Activate. I'm going to turn to them and I'm going to say, where were you yesterday when my drinks were nice and warm?
She looks at you inquisitively. Is like, oh, you went to that tabaxi bar, huh?
My mistake.
Yeah, she pats you on the shoulder and like goes back to whatever the fuck she was doing, which looks like mostly standing around in case there's a fire.
Oh, she's like the firefighter.
Yeah, she's a cryomancer.
Very cool. I mean, she could find work in a bar. I would think that would be useful.
Well, she's got a few bars to
Tend
manage,
to already? Yeah.
looking for some breakfast. What you doing?
Where are the restaurants in town?
So you'd ask some guards. They tell you to go through the marketplace in front of the Baltimore Mining Co. Yeah, you would find a wagon. She usually makes pretty awesome food.
Move me over yonder to the wagon.
Okay. You go over.
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna say, I had the most interesting of discussions behind your wagon yesterday. Thank you for letting me use it. Anyways, I would like to get some food today.
Yeah, this little girl like looks up at you. Is like, okay, so like, what the fuck do you want?
Food?
Okay, and then she goes in here. So, name's Anita Fajita, by the way. What exactly do you want for your food? We have a wide selection of menu. We got everything from vegetarian meals. You want to go hardcore into the meats, and she's just like, she dives into the back of that wagon and you're just hearing like pots and pans clanging around,
What's her name again?
Her name? Her name's Anita Fajita. Fajita?
Okay, I will get the fajitas. No, I'm just kidding.
She's like, we don't sell fajitas here.
dead pan, just no fajitas here. Venger's gonna respond with, you have eggs?
Yeah, we got plenty of eggs. Are you looking for some like a very large omelet? Do you want something that has kind of some cumin in it? What you looking for?
It's like a finely seasoned omelet. I have a big day today. I'm starting a new line of work. I need something to keep me productive.
She's like, oh, yep, got it. Like maybe 6 seconds right after you finish that, you hear like some eggs cracking, you hear some like pan sizzling and stuff,
clanging. Yeah.
And she's just like, she's going to town in her little kitchen in the back of this wagon and everything. She looks up and she's like, order up! And she waits with the plate like expectantly.
Well, that was fast. I'm very impressed.
She holds out her hand waiting for cash first. She's got like hand plate behind her, like, give me what you got. She
How much?
She arcs her eyebrows. How much you got? Smells good, right?
Enough to pay for some eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you handing her?
Oh man. You know what? I'm just gonna give her 1 silver.
She's like, thanks, pleasure doing business. She hands you the eggs, and then she immediately goes to handling someone else's order.
This better keep me productive.
Because you had a really nice, fine meal in front of you, it's actually going to give you a +1 to any modifier of your choice for your next encounter, whatever that may be, whether it's social or whether it's...
Do I have to choose right now?
Yeah, right now.
I choose a +1 to my charisma.
You're feeling more confident than ever, you're ready for this job interview, or you've already had your kind of technical job interview. But yeah, you're ready to go ahead and meet up with the boss. Is there anything else you want to handle before you pop on in?
Nope.
Okay.
Time to get to work. Something I have never said in real life.
You finally arrive at the Bothmore Lounge. There's Lady Messiah Moon waiting with some books and papers and contracts strewn about. She gives you a slight bow and beckons you to approach the table.
I give a gentle sort of bow back without like the full back, amongst business associates. Just a simple, functional bow, and I approach her. A pleasure to make her acquaintance.
You approach her. Oops, looks like she's like shooting a spell into your face.
Is this someone I've already met, or is this?
Yes, this is somebody you have already met.
Cool. I don't know who my
that's who hired you. Yeah.
Perfect.
She hands you a quill, and she says, "Sign this, and you are hired. Know that this contract will have severe magical consequences if you intentionally try to harm our company." And she slides the contract over to you. You understand we need absolute trust in our coin master, which is why we had to be invasive with our interrogation techniques. And she pulls out a glowing ribbon of magical energy. My spy master delivered this to me. Do you know what this is? And she holds the spool of magical
I have a
energy.
funny feeling.
She says, it is a thought strand. It shows me your exact state of mind at the time it was extracted, all of it. I do not know who this invisible contact is, but it does not seem to be anything that poses a direct opposition to me. So you may keep your loyalty there, but you also must prove your loyalty to me. And she pushes the contract a little bit closer to you.
I take a read over it. Is there anything malicious that I notice, or?
Intelligence.
Crit 20.
Okay, so
Again, somehow that's
so,
actually
yeah.
a 24.
Oh, also roll Arcana.
18.
Yeah, you go over this contract and you see that the contract has like some clauses in there, and you actually notice that there is in fact a magical binding to this contract. And it's kind of mostly based on intent. if you intend to do something wrong to this company, she said magical consequences. What you discern from this is it will in fact make your fucking head explode if you are trying to somehow steal money or trying to do something that is to sabotage the company. But it doesn't seem anything more binding than that. So unless you're really going into this to really fuck things up, you feel like you're relatively safe. But the thought does cross your mind about your head exploding.
It's scary. Yeah, that sounds uncomfortable. Is there any mention of my pay in this will, or is this just a contract that says I will not harm the business?
Yeah, that is pretty. You're signing the non-disclosure agreement right now. It's a very scary non-disclosure agreement, kind of.
That's a scary NDA. I'm just gonna whip out the quill.
There you go. All right, so
thumbs up.
Yeah, as you start writing, what you notice is that as soon as you pick up the quill immediately turns red, and you start writing. But then you're like, oh, this is familiar, because you start to realize that the quill itself is actually siphoning your blood into the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm well familiar with that.
Okay, let me introduce you to the crew. As coin master, you must meet the different employees who will need their funds and resources managed. She claps her hands together. Ink, introduce yourself. See, the book in the corner of the room flutters to life, its pages forming into a life-size origami person. Greetings. This one is Ink.
The pleasure's all mine, impressive book person.
You see the origami person kind of folds in half and kind of mimicking a bow. This one can arrange meetings, leave messages, transcribe, decipher, and event plan in most known languages. This one is at your service and can usually be found in this building on the ground floor. And then looks at you expectantly.
Thank you.
And then it gives you another bow and says, it is a pleasure. And it's very kind of flat and robotic.
Just...
Okay, well, Lady Miss Howe then gestures upstairs and she says, before we continue, you should greet your storage requisition officer, Holly. She has been an asset to us so far, finding places to put old equipment, selling parts, and even at times avoiding conflict with other companies through intimidation. Perhaps she might have some insight on how to manage our funds. And then she kind of gestures to the stairs if you want. Or we can go to the other bar and I can introduce you to the rest of your colleagues.
We can go upstairs for a moment.
Okay. You go up the first side of stairs. Pretty much this is what you see. I guess you don't hear anything yet. And then you hear Lady Messiah Moon from downstairs. So it's go farther! So you go all the way upstairs. And when you go up the stairs, you're kind of creaking up the stairs and stuff. And then you hear a female voice humming a tune. And then the humming stops and you hear a voice through a door. It says, in here. What do you want to do, PJ?
If she says enter, I will enter.
All right. She says in here, so you go ahead and you enter the room.
Your wish is my command.
Okay, when you enter the room, you see the most colorful person you've ever seen. She has rainbow hair going past her shoulders, but tied in a messy bun. Her clothes are clean and purposeful, with small spell journals and colored layers and fitted leathers, comfortable hiking boots. Even her fitted leather pants have a spectrum of colors running down her left leg. You would guess her age to be somewhere in her 20s, considering her, her form. She flips through a book before putting it down, addressing you. Oh, hi there. Hey there. Hello, person. And there's something wild behind her eyes as she waits for you to respond. Why don't you go ahead and roll perception?
Sure. That would be a 15.
You notice that her irises are kind of consistently shifting between colors as though her eyes are almost like mood stones that haven't made up their mind. And they're always
person.
Yeah, she's just kind of always kind of shifting in sort of that sort of spectrum. She kind of lowers her book as you come in, and she's just kind of waiting for you to say something.
Venger Rendriel at your service. I am the new coin master.
That's not very interesting, she teases as she takes a few steps closer, invading your personal space.
Oh my.
But don't let that stop you, she grins and she turns her head. So if you were to try to speak to her, you're pretty much going to be speaking directly into her ear. And it's all kind of very like, there's like no boundaries here with how she's like interacting here.
And your name is?
Oh, I'm Holly. Holly. Hi.
And
Person.
you do what?
Oh, I'm the storage requisition officer. Didn't Lady Misayo tell you?
Yes, I thought I would just hear it from you. Thank you.
Yes. No, that's very interesting. No,
Nice
it's not.
and close. Nice and
Yeah,
close.
well, I'm a professional, and I do know how to sell things or put things away. Now, what kind of resources are you willing to spend on little me? She says with a wink.
Depends on how hard you work. I'm just the type that I'm a very meritocratic fellow. If you do a good job, I expect you'll find many resources flowing your way.
She's like, I work really hard.
I can tell.
Well, don't let me keep you from meeting the rest of everyone. We can perhaps run into each other another time, darling.
I look forward to our next rendezvous.
And then she just totally invades your personal space where she just like boops you on the nose and immediately turns her back to what she was reading. And you can see she has a slight smile from the side of her face.
Thank you. Backs away.
Yeah, backs.
Slowly.
Then when you come back down the stairs, you see Lady Moon awaits to take your arm at the elbow. Shall we go make the rest of the introductions, Coin Master Venger?
Please. I'm at your disposal.
So as she's walking with you and stuff, she turns to you. She's, I expect you to be polite when making introductions, Venger. I also expect you to understand that we are going through new means to find such coin for you to manage. If you have any problems with my deliveries to this venue, I would have you come to me with your concerns. Do you understand?
Of course. Discretion is one of my best talents.
She nods, like, satisfied. Okay. So, before you enter this bar, let's go ahead and roll for, like, first impressions. How about you roll some charisma here? Was it that thing, that +1 you got? Yeah. There you go. Let's do it.
Okay. What is this, like a I'm just gonna do like a whatever. I'm looking at a 16 total, 15 +1.
Oh, fuck yeah. Nice. Very nice. All right, so you come on in here. So yeah, you guys come into the bar, and what you see, okay.
What do I see?
Come on over, take a look.
Oh, quite full bar.
Okay, so various patrons are sitting in different seats and standings as a band plays music. This is a pretty lively scene. On one side of the room, you see a mechanical automaton talking to a termite. You see on the other side, there is a red-haired young woman with a more burly woman holding a map on a table. You also hear a lot of commotion upstairs. Lady Moon lets go of your elbow and gestures around. Go meet everyone, Venger. And she nudges you forward. On her way out of the establishment, she yells over her shoulder, be nice, everyone! And you're just kind of left to your own survival.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I'm going to, so there's all these people here.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of people here. You have some like random patrons inside,
I'll turn to the people to my right,
Okay.
and I'll kind of approach their table without falling on my face. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Venger Rendriel, the new coin master of Baltimore State.
Okay, so as you were saying that, they're like in the middle of a conversation. You hear like, well, if you stopped having miners walk into gas pockets, maybe I would have more supplies to make some more poison resistance potions. The red-haired woman says, we just need better gear to get through that kind of stuff, Piper. And the burly woman with the map says. They both look at you. Hi, says the redheaded girl, and then, hi there, says the burly woman.
The pleasure is mine. What are your names?
Well, the burly woman says, I'm Helga, and this is Piper, and she gestures, and then you see she just kind of gives like a little finger wave.
May I ask your functions?
Yeah, well, so I am the main cartographer, you know, for creating all the our maps for our mines.
Most impressive.
Yeah, and in fact, like what I've been doing is I've been sending out most of our people to go find our resources, but right now we're a bit strapped. It's kind of hard to find new minerals and such when we've been mining the same exact areas over and over again.
That's why I'm here.
Well, that's what I heard. And you know what? Piper here is like, hi. It's like, Piper here is a fantastic alchemist. Now, she makes all kinds of potions and remedies and all kinds of stuff. I'm just trying to muscle her here and trying to make sure that she has some more supplies to be given my miners, you know, for when they go out, you know. But actually, you know what? If we had better gear, maybe we won't be needing Piper as much. And then you see Piper,
I think you'll be most useful.
and Piper's like, oh, thank you. You know, I just graduated from college.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, and then you see like Helga like nudges her and she's like, oh,
Venger just turns to himself. What is college? No. I'm not familiar.
Sort of like boils down to like Helga wants you to like upgrade the gear of the miners and such, and then like Piper really wants her alchemy lab like upgraded. She wants her reagents fresh, you know, and she's talking about all kinds of stuff. She could like whip out like Molotov cocktails. She could whip out like all kinds of really crazy chemical like bombs, and she's working on personal inventions and all kinds of very interesting things.
Wow.
And yeah, and then Helga is more like, we gotta get down there. And that's kind of like what's going on there.
Piper, may I ask, what kind of equipments do you use particularly for the miners, other than the gas pocket?
You're talking to Piper, right?
Correct.
Yeah, she's like, actually, I'm trying to avoid gas pockets and things like that. And I mean, yeah, I've been strapped for resources because I keep on having to make the same poison resistance potions. So far, what I've been doing is I've been putting a lot of work into these things, but the thing is that these things only last for a certain amount of time. And these miners are in there and they're working for a lot longer, and like, that is not something that like is a long-term goal. And then she kind of like gives Helga a look, and then like Helga rolls her eyes.
Helga, what is your opinion? I'm understanding that you'd like better gear for your...
Well, kind of a roundabout of everything. Like, I'm looking for gear. I'm looking for maybe some reshoring in the tunnels. I'm looking for all kinds of things and such. You come by here, darling, and you send some coin my way, and I'm gonna try my damnedest to make sure that we have everything we need to at least get through some of these mines. She's nice and she's supplying my stuff, but I think that if you put some more coin towards my in my direction, like more mining crews means more money, which means more likelihood of me potentially get enough coin for us to upgrade her dilly-dally dooley-doo thing, whatever.
I see, exponential growth. I like your mindset.
Piper's like, well, like, I mean, I have to heal more things than just like your miners. Like, we also have issues with our defense, and like anytime there's an orc incursion, you know, like we gotta heal our troops up too, not just miners.
I see. And what particular, how should I say, what hostilities do the caves present?
Look, there's this caterpillar thing, you know, and like it snatches people up, and like it's so hard to kind of get our mitts on it when it's got one of our employees usually has a body shield as it eats them. It's just terrible, you know. And then you see Helga's like, yep, nope, that sounds about right.
Great. I'm pleased to hear that we can defend ourselves from these.
Oh, well, I mean,
pillars.
Yeah, she looks at you and is like, well, that's actually like kind of just the tip of the iceberg. Like, we have...
Great.
Yeah, Lady Moon just opened up the Fallen Star tunnels, and some of the things that are coming out of there are just creepy. Like...
The Fallen Star tunnels? I'm not familiar.
Oh, yeah, you're new. So Fallen Star tunnels is like... So it's where we get the most of our profits from, and that's why we need people to go down there. We need to clear a path for the laborers to go through and pick up the resources we need so we can sell them off. The Fallen Star Tunnels is the best stuff because we've already mined the shit out of everything else. Part of my language.
I see. So from my understanding and from the few things I've heard, this tunnel is very much more resource heavy. But with these laden resources comes a greater danger, from my understanding.
Oh, things have happened in the past, when we originally closed off the tunnel. I know about this because of my studies and everything. Helga's been here. I've been here the whole time, and I've seen all kinds of fucking crazy Looney Tune shit come out of those tunnels. You want to see a Cookie Monster on crack? And then she gives you like a super flat look. Like that's
Jesus.
Yeah, and so Helga looks at you like very, very like sternly, like, no, this is for fucking real, The stuff is like nightmares, like
Nightmare fuel.
yeah, beyond. Like I have personally seen a miner get attacked by one of these things and it clawed right through his left arm. Next morning, he started growing teeth out of his skull and was coughing up blood the next day. It was horrid.
That sounds concerning,
Yeah, so...
medically speaking.
Oh, it was a shit show, to say the least.
Do these things ever happen to people who don't go in the mines?
If you don't, fight the tide back, it could spill out up here.
Oh. But so to say, someone, for example, who is to be far away from this mine would not have any problems until they went into it, so to say?
Well, and you see they both kind of look at each other like, I'm not, look, we just opened the mines again. We don't know if what is down there has, left or not, or maybe is coming now that the explosion of opening up the tunnel. And then Helga's like, yeah, we just literally lit some shaped charges and stuff, and we have a lot of security down there. So far, everyone's okay, but...
Well, remind me not to leave my office. Thank you. I will be most supportive from over there.
And then you see they both look at each other and then look at you and did Lady Moon tell you? You know what? Okay, yeah. Why don't you go talk to some other people? They both kind of look
They're like, oh, this guy doesn't know. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see who else there's to talk to, and I'll just say, tell me what. It's fine. I'm sure I'll just find out later. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. I have to thoughtfully consider the proposals you've both asked me about.
Okay.
And then I'll just kind of turn around most politely. Step, 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 step. Make my way over here, and then I will talk to these
guys. All right.
people.
So, you see a brown, short, bug-like person with 4 arms, wearing a bandana, smoking a cigar. From the voice, you would guess that they are male. And now, here's a big question. Has your character ever met a Terramite?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, so it's a very peculiar thing. They're kind of about half as tall as you. They're very sturdy looking creatures.
Very hardy.
Yeah, very hardy looking creatures. This one is rolling around like this cigar between its mandibles back here and back here, but they also have a set of very human-like teeth behind them. So when they close their mouth completely, you just see the mandibles out in front and stuff, but they still have lips, that kind of seal around the air gap between the mandibles. It's kind of creepy when they talk to you.
Yeah.
You see a human tongue and teeth and stuff, and they could talk just like you or me. And this particular one, they kind of have a sort of almost a termite sort of look about them, but they walk on 2 legs. And they have an abdomen, a small abdomen. Yeah, but they got 4 arms. And so what you're walking into is you see this Terramite, and he's like, no, Dutch. Don't you remember? This used to be our favorite game. And the Terramite swipes up the cards and begins redealing them out to the tall automaton. You don't just pick them up when you're done dealing. You gotta bluff or drop your cards. You know, you see the termite looks over his shoulder as he's dealing cards with his lower arms. Oh, can I help you? And he grumbles. Dutch and I are in the middle of a game.
Yes, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Venger Rendriel. I'm the new coin master.
Oh, and then he looks at you. He's like, "Oh, new coin master. Yeah, I hear. All right." As he's dealing cards, he's like, "You want me to deal you in?"
Why not?
All right, and he starts dealing out these cards to this tall automaton. So, in terms of the people who are surrounding this table, you have this tall automaton, right? And you have this thing that's about the same height as the table. Is this like very sturdy, mechanical-looking like little beetle person? Have you ever met a Chidian before?
Nope.
Okay, so a Chidian is like this burly, like muscular, like super huge, like beetle person.
Yeah.
And these guys they all have these kind of quintessential horns. You said you had not met them before?
No.
Okay, so you know, as far as you know, this is just a weird little short beetle, mechanical beetle thing. But if you had met a Chidian, you would know that this is just a kind of almost like a chibi version of a real Chidian.
Yeah.
So there's this little tiny, like a little mechanical, like beetle guy, you know, who's like standing like almost uncomfortably closely next to this termite.
Yeah.
And he's dealing cards out to you. He's dealing cards out to this automaton. What you see on this automaton is that it looks like he's wearing children's sheets as a cloak.
That's horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, no. He's got like star patterns on it. It looks like he's got this like kind of rubber bright orange like hat that comes up to a point.
Like a cone?
If you were to spend time talking some more to Grubs, he's going to tell you that he's in fact like inventing things like and
I've invented a cone.
yeah, well, it's for like
for
hazards, but apparently this automaton he's kind of deeming a hazard.
Oh my god.
So
that's so funny.
Yeah, so
Cone on your head, hazard boy.
so he's got this little children's sheet, and when you're looking at him, he has the silhouette of a wizard.
Oh, you're
He has
funny,
a wizard's hat,
yeah.
and he has his little cloak.
I need a cone on my head. I'm a hazard.
Are you familiar with let's call this game Dragon Knuckle? Are you familiar with Dragon Knuckle?
Of course I'm familiar with Dragon
Okay, so
Knuckle.
yeah, he deals you the 7 cards. You know, you pick them up and everything. You know that is about like bluffing and
not
everything.
dropping
And you know what I want you to
cards.
do? I want you to go ahead and I want you to roll a charisma save and a intelligence save.
Okay. So charisma save. That's gonna be
Okay, and 17. Okay.
9.
Okay.
And then the intelligence save. A 10.
Okay, so the tall automaton like immediately puts down his cards without saying anything, you know, and then like looks over to Grubs and just says like, "I win." And then you see Grubs, who's this termite, you know, he puts down his cards. He's like, "Well, fucking goddamn it!" And what did you get?
A 10.
Okay, yeah, he got 17. The winner here, his name's Dutch, after my brother. Anyways, we could get into that some other time. But Dutch, you remember like getting back into this? Hello. It's like, yeah, good game, Dutch.
Good game.
Dutch sort of seems sort of pleased with that. It's like, good game.
It's been some years since I've played Dragon Knuckle.
It really takes me back, you know. And he looks over. So, you're looking to decide where you're gonna be putting your coin, right?
Yes, I wanted to survey each of the departments and see what they're up to, what their purpose is, so that I may accurately know how to distribute it effectively and efficiently.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Well, hell, I think me and Dutch are in agreement of probably shoring up the tunnels. Not so much about potentially like doing everything with the miners, you know, and trying to upgrade their equipment and whatnot. But I think the real key here is making sure that we have a safe environment. You know, and then you see Dutch makes this like low-pitched beep noise. Like, no, negative. I think that we should probably spend resources on arming our security. And you see like Grubbs like looks over at him and he's like I fucking made you. I can unmake you.
Oh my God.
You see Dutch is like, okay.
May I ask, what specific departments do you head up individually? I'm getting an understanding, but I'd love to hear from you what you call the domain of which you run.
You're talking to Grubbs? Or you're talking to
about all of them.
Dutch?
I want to know, like, kind of each of them just to say what
So
they
you
actually
look at this small
do.
little like beetle person and goes, just looks at you, like looks up at you and just goes, dip, dip,
What did he say?
dip, dip.
Excellent.
Grubbs is like, so this is my friend Deep Beep. He's one of the first creations I've ever created. You see, the Dutch over there is, I guess, about like my third automaton I've ever tried to make. His personality is coming along.
Coming along.
And then he looks back over to Deep Beep. Is like, Deep Beep is just about as good as they come. He's just precious.
Precious.
And he pats him on top of his like tiny little horn, and you hear they go like blip, 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 blip. Well, what my job has been so far is I work a lot with Helga. And he like rearranges his cigar in his jaw to the other side, clasping it with the other mandible. You notice that there's like a certain smell coming off of the cigar, and it's like something very earthy. And you can't really put your finger on it. But
Marijuana. Just kidding.
and as he's going into it, he says like, yeah, I work a lot with Helga and stuff. And so I just really believe that the materials about like trying to actually set up shop down in those tunnels is where our priority should be. Helga wants to equip our miners, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I think we should eventually get there. Then you see Dutch is like, I work security.
I see.
Yeah. Grubbs looks and says, well, why don't you tell me a little bit about like what you're doing, Dutch? And he's like, I think everyone should be armed to the teeth. It's like that. Well, you're gonna have to forget. He is actually far more cerebral than he puts out. Like he's got some stratagems, and he does things that I can barely comprehend.
I understand. I think security is actually a very important matter from my understanding of this new tunnel access.
I protect to win. She's
Smart.
like pats like Dutch on the shoulder.
And how can we more effectively arm our guards? Are they lacking weapons or armor, or what can we do? Please tell me more.
Hire more thugs, more thugs. You see, Grubbs is just rubbing his forehead and shit, and he's like, God. Lady Messiah Moon's been like going to certain expenses and stuff, and I think that we're starting to work a little bit hand in hand with the Zentarum these days.
Oh, that's great.
Well, they are very loyal, and they have been like doing their job and whatnot, but I mean like.
They are shady characters.
Well, no, they just dig in like a tick, and then when you want them gone, they just dig in deeper.
I think it's a good time to make my kind of exit from the conversation. I'll be like, I guess we'll talk about this at a later date. And I'll just sort of evacuate myself.
So you also hear some music coming from upstairs and stuff. And you know that there's more things going on upstairs, so... Or do you just want to leave the bar? What is it you want to do?
Straight upstairs.
Straight upstairs?
Eager to
Okay.
meet more people.
So, you come upstairs. You're surrounded by, looks like a band, and then you see, it looks like Lady Messiah Moon is actually upstairs, and you're like, huh, because you just saw her leave.
Yeah, weird.
So I want you to go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Well,
Should be pretty easy though, honestly.
12?
Okay, yeah, you put two and two together. So the musicians are going totally full throttle since they are on the second floor, and it's almost a taunt to the other neighboring bars without musicians, and it echoes into the marketplace. The band has a Water Genasi lead singer and stuff, and a couple of backup lutists. And strangely, you see Lady Messiah Moon upstairs enjoying a beverage and watching the band. You can't help but do a double take. Like, didn't you just see her leave? What you discern with that intelligence check is that, oh, you definitely did see her leave, and you know that this seems to be the only stairway up.
Is she kind of on her own?
Yeah, she's on her own. She's just enjoying the music and a beverage.
I'm gonna approach, and I'm just gonna kind of lean in and very quietly say, just so she can hear it, "Are you Lady Moon, or are you?"
Hold on. So when you approach, she pops a fan hiding her face from the band, and it wiggles a finger for you to come closer. Ah, hello, little mouse. Nothing to get song requests like pretending to be the big boss, no? Ah, well, the ruse is up unless you have something you want them to play.
I had a funny feeling you'd be here. Good to see you again. May I have the honor of actually knowing your proper name?
At this point, you're gonna see as she's popping the fan so like the lutist can't see and stuff, right? She's gonna go ahead and show you, partially, behind a fan, what this character actually looks like.
Ooh.
And so it's gonna popping this fan, right? You're gonna see that this person has like super pale, like actually just white skin with glowing purple eyes and like metallic silver hair.
Cool.
And behind the fan is just showing that, but like the rest of the body is like Lady Messiah Moon, and it's like shape-shifting, not in a magical sense, but more like a genetic octopus sort of way where it reforms its face to look at like
You see
in its
bone
more
structure
natural
and stuff moving. Yeah,
you know, you see it. It's not like some sort of magical like thing. And I want you to go ahead and roll a history check.
11.
Well, you're not entirely too sure, like exactly what this thing is, but it looks at you and you know that, I mean, this thing, whatever this thing is, it has a natural shape-shifting property.
Yeah.
I want you to go ahead and roll another history check. See if you can discern a tale or something.
14.
Okay, so at this point, you know, you're like, you didn't recognize it off like right off the bat, but you start thinking about it and it's more like in your head, right?
Yeah.
And this is the point that you're like, oh, wait, these things were hunted, weren't they? Like way back when, like there actually used to be like price bounties on these things. This is like, I believe now that I'm discerning, you know, from everything, this might in fact be a real live changeling.
Yeah.
And then the thing starts speaking to you, you know, it says like, okay, I know it was hard for you being cornered yesterday, but it paid off, no? And as far as you are the coin master, I have some ideas for you to utilize such finances. Are you willing to hear me out? The face changes back into Lady Messiah Moon's face, then changes into your face, and then changes back into the pale, featureless skin with purple eyes and metallic silver hair. Oh, how rude of me. I am Cypher, Lady Messiah Moon's spy master.
Well, Cypher, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you didn't already know, my name is Venger Rendriel.
I already know fucking everything about you.
But
I even know which hand you masturbate with. There's nothing you can hide from me.
I will agree to hear you out as long as you agree during my employ here that you will not read my mind without asking first.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on what Lady Messiah Moon says, but okay, just between you and me? Okay.
Okay. I appreciate that. Now, what can I do for you?
Oh, well. We used to mine these crystals that when they are refined, they can actually like give me a link psychically to these crystals. And I like to hide these crystals in these lanterns around the city. Now, anything that somebody speaks and I can hear them through the lanterns.
That sounds quite useful.
This is how I keep tabs on everything in the city. But if you tell somebody I have to kill you or make you think you are like a teenage orc girl or something, I don't know. But this is what I'm trying to do. It is for me being a spy, being spy master chief.
I look forward to cultivating a brilliant friendship.
Oh, yes, that is what I want to hear. And you see he like immediately shapeshifts his face back into Lady Messiah Moon. She's like, play that one again. You know, it goes right back to like right back to Cypher again behind the popped fan.
Well, Cypher, may I ask more about your background? How did you find yourself here at this estate? I thought your kind was disposed of.
We are pretty almost extinct, you know? It's hard to find places in society. But, you know, my mother, she's from House Both. Tried very hard to keep in good terms with her. But she said I am being a very bad boy, so she sent me to this shitty fucking mining town.
Well, that we can agree on.
Yes, but of course.
Woo! It's difficult to play smart characters when you're dumb.
It's okay, PJ, I'm drunk. No, I'm not that drunk.
May I ask you something? Piper and Helga, when I mentioned something about me staying away from the mines, they seemed to indicate that I was mistaken somehow. Would you mind enlightening me? You seem to be one to tell the truth.
And he starts like laughing, and then he like peeks over the fan and goes, oh yes. Well, so it's difficult. Wait, hold on. I need to put back on my mask. I'm so sorry. And he goes back to being Lady Messiah Moon. And goes like, you will have to try to go through the mining tunnels. This is because we had some professionals that went down at an adventure party to go try to clear out a way for our laborers. They did not come back. So we are looking for people to fill multiple shoes.
I see. Do we have more on the way? Or is it just me?
Well, for now, we only have you, but it's not anything immediate. We have more people coming.
Thank God.
Yes, and to be honest, you can probably take any one of us into the tunnels depending on what you need at any given time.
I see, thank you.
So you can take me, or you could take Piper, or you can take whoever you want. But when you take one of us, you are stripping our estate from that person's specialties. Do you understand?
Very much so.
And then you see pops that fan again back to being Cypher. Like, okay. So that was a pretty good Lady Messiah Moon, yeah?
I'd agree to that.
Okay. I've been practicing for weeks. It's kind of hard to make fun of her. And then
Just be careful who you make fun of her too.
oh, well, you have to see the milk shoot out of Piper's nose when I do it.
A most enlightening sight, I'm sure.
Well, let's make it official. And he completely drops his form. And you see the clothes like shift totally into his actual like black leather armor, you know, with like crow feathers over the shoulders and stuff. And the cloak. And he looks over at you with his pale skin, his purple eyes, his silver hair. The band immediately like stops at dropping, noticing that is not Lady Messiah Moon.
Fools!
Yeah, and then he says like, we are the Baltimore Mining Estate Co. Welcome to Bemco, little mouse. End episode.
Wow.
All right, so let's get to end episode disclaimers here. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. I apologize for forgetting my grid maps tonight, but we know that each square is about 1 inch by 1 inch, which equals about 5 feet. So we have a tape measure for judging our distances. Remember, art is art, and we love you and can't wait to hear from you. So catch us next time on Farfall.
Send us messages.
I see Cypher getting up to all kinds of shenanigans.
Oh no.
So,
Shenanigans.
Northern German, once again.
Shenanigans.
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 He didn't have his mini.
All right, got you.
Now he doesn't have dice.
Listen.
What's next? Do I have to play the game for you?
Wait a second, hold on.
Yes. Bug-eyed looking, funny looking, crocodile pant wearing, feathered face looking, wearing, flying, shaggy hair looking, mob, like, looking guy.